All right, Raj, thanks for taking some time to join with me here today. It's been a real pleasure working with you on this really important search for Lick-Wilmerding. Want to just spend a few minutes talking about the role, but before we get to that, for folks who don't know you, just give us a little bit of background as to your roles you've had and what brought you to the school.
Sure. Thanks, Gabe. I really appreciate this opportunity to share a little bit about myself, my journey, the school, the role. This is the start of my third year at Lick-Wilmerding, and it's after a pretty long career at Phillips Academy in Andover, where I was a classroom teacher, I was a football coach, I led programs taking students and faculty to India every summer for 15 summers. I was an administrator in their diversity office. I was a residential dean. I became an academic dean for the school. And then most recently, I was a deputy head of school. Um, Along the way, I have also taught in Switzerland and in Kenya and in India, and all of that sort of informs my view of citizenship as well. And what really drew me to Lick-Wilmerding was actually three things. Its commitment to diversity and an incredibly diverse student body and faculty. I've always felt the more diverse you have a group and all sorts of diversity, the better the highest level of education outcome. Um, then, as I learned more about Lake related to diversity, I couldn't believe the incredible sense of belonging that a lot of kids and students and faculty and families and alums have for the school. And so that piqued my curiosity as well. The second sort of leg for my interest would be the Center for Civic Engagement. And I've always felt that I would be so proud to have students who graduate from the school I'm in who are informed and engaged citizens. And in 2025, I couldn't think of anything more important than that for young people and our country. The third is really the curriculum. So my background is in academics, and I believe that with a diverse student body, with a faculty that's also diverse, the average and experienced and deeply caring of students, we have a couple of things that are really unique about our program, the tech arts, and how that's interwoven in terms of making and building and designing is critical for not only the tech arts, but throughout our curriculum. And then it's our curriculum itself and an orientation to do good in the world. Private school, the public purpose is the first line of our mission. That's been what's been most close to my heart as an educator. And I've found a place that aligns my values with the mission of the school.
And I can say, as an alum of the school, everything you're talking about is truly authentic. Lick-Wilmerding lives out its mission, its commitment to a sense of belonging, to its commitment to tech arts, its commitment to being a private school with a public purpose. Some of the initiatives and programs it has started, it is all there and in its DNA. On that note, and just talk about sort of, for somebody who hasn't walked the halls of the school before, just, what the fabric of the school is, the culture, and you've already started to highlight some of these things with the center and other things that are happening, but just give just a more crisper picture of just what the school was like under the hood.
Sure. Well, I really appreciate your nod to DNA as a biology teacher. And I think a lot about the DNA of a school, the evolution of a school, and where the school is now, especially in a changing environment. And the things that there are the kids that we attract are smart, talented, quirky, and kind, like really kind. That was one of the things that really struck me about the school in my first 2 years. I thought that independent schools would have good, nice kids, but the level of kindness is something I'm still exploring, that culture, which I believe really opens up different types of learning about yourself, about others, about the world. Um, I would say that kids, there's a sense of joy in the school, which I think is really important these days. We articulated our 4 values last year, which I think show up every day in our school. One is a deep sense of belonging. A second is a pursuit of excellence. I love a quote of a former sort of partner of Lick-Wilmerding School, Miranda Lux. And what she said was that her school and Lick-Wilmerding do common things uncommonly well, which has really struck a chord with me. The third, which goes back to our third value, is craft, and iterating and the process and the product and the design and the making. And the fourth is value is an orientation towards um, optimism and hope. And so, when I tell kids, I tell kids I look for two things when I walk around school. I look for a sense of curiosity and I look for a level of kindness. If we're doing these two things, I think we're doing a pretty good job. And I see a lot of it when I walk around.
Great, I really appreciate those descriptors. Um, this is a new role for the school at this particular time, and talk about here you are in year three, and that's really a chance to just start to think truly forward and where the school is headed. This is a really important partnership role to the head of school with a big portfolio. Talk about some priorities and why this role is so important right now.
Yeah, I think, we have a really strong curriculum. And my observations in the first 2 years were that we've got a strong curriculum and it could be better coordinated. We could have better coherence. Um, and when we do, it will give us a framework to have some really important conversations about grading, around support, around being a private school, public purpose. And so I see the curriculum, I see great opportunity in the curriculum of connecting our Center for Civic Engagement with the curriculum itself. We have a lot of PPP classes, private school public purpose classes. In fact, I would say maybe all of our classes have some level of PPP because it's an orientation to do good in the public sphere. And there are classes that go deeper into this. And when I talk to the students of those classes and the teachers, there's really meaningful, deep learning that's sticky for years after kids take those classes. Um, at the same time, there's tremendous opportunity for professional development and growth for teachers. And so I think these two things are related. Professional development for teachers as well as curriculum innovation. At the same time, as the Center for Civic Engagement and Citizenship is being connected into our curriculum, at the same time, I believe DEIB principles are also within our curriculum and are also being articulated much more clearly. I am so thrilled that we will launch ethnic studies next year as a graduation requirement for ninth graders. And as a part of a transition for an incredibly diverse group of ninth graders coming into our curriculum, I think it's really important as a part of their orientation to the school and also as an entry into the curriculum for their ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th grades and how to kind of see and understand, the things that they're learning. So in these ways, I think citizenship, DEIB principles coming into the curriculum, it's already there we're articulating it, and we're coordinating it, and we're making it more coherent. We're also on the cusp of a strategic planning process. And I'm really eager to see, what stakes we put in the ground there, which will also inform our curriculum.
That's great. You talked a bit about professional development, and earlier you talked about culture. And I just want to allow you to talk about and have our viewers hear that the school is concurrently making a hire for a dean of faculty development and culture. That is a role that will report to the assistant head of school for academics. Can you just talk a little bit about that position and its priorities and how that will fit into the larger scope of what the assistant head of school for academics is overseeing?
Sure. We currently have a dean of faculty position, and we've had that for a few years, and it's incredibly important. It's incredibly important to have a position that supports the faculty in lots of different ways. I wanted to elevate development and culture within that role. And I think that there's opportunity to do that in defining our PD program, which is pretty extensive already, in defining our evaluation program, in really thinking about recruiting and retaining fantastic faculty, which is becoming increasingly harder, maybe especially in the Bay Area. And and so that position I envision to work very closely with the assistant head of school for academics, because these things are tied together. The growth of our faculty, the people that we have, the opportunities afforded to them, and how our curriculum becomes more innovative and relevant. And so I'm really eager to have an assistant head of school for academics take on this portfolio with me, with Tilt, which is our group of department chairs, with the faculty. And I see this as kind of a unifying force to bring some different elements together.
That's great. Final topic, or in the spirit of bringing different elements together, I've had the great pleasure of working with you for several years, and you talked earlier on about just your background, and I've come to learn, indeed, you have coached football and you have taught overseas. And just what I want you to do is just to maybe tell viewers who don't know anything about you one or two things that are just kind of, every educator sort of just has things that they're passionate about or stories about how teaching football connects to the global world, or just different things that have been really important to you, maybe something that was influential to you, or just anything about you as an educator that people would maybe like to know, that would give a little window into Raj the leader, and how you got to where you are today.
Oh, thanks. Well, just last week, I had an opportunity to guest teach a ninth grade biology course. And let me tell you, it is still, some of the most amazing moments in school happen in the classroom. And I was talking about nature versus nurture. We're doing a thing on genetics, and ethical decisions. And when you have a really diverse group of kids who are curious, who want to engage, who want to think about how to use things in the world that we live in, you have a great opportunity, And so, as an administrator, I think about how do we nurture those students? How do we inspire those students? How do we support the great faculty that we have so that those moments in the classroom can really sort of over time, over 4 years for a kid or over a career for a teacher, can really, really be highlights, daily highlights. Um, I have to say, Lick-Wilmerding just won the flag football championship yesterday, and so we're very, very happy about that. And I had a chance to coach a
I
game.
you guest coached, I know, and
Did guest coach, I know, and Again, it's just that teaching, that feeling of teamwork, that feeling of, everyone together with collective purpose and support and love for each other. And that's been, I coached football for 25 years. And so that aspect of teamwork, I think, is really important. My global work, I think I better understand the context in which, schools operate. And they're not, while we are independent, we are also connected to the culture and to the area, in which we are. And I feel so, privileged to be in the Bay Area, to be in the United States, and to, be in 2025 when there's so many different things and opportunities and challenges, available to us. And so, my style of leadership is one of collaboration. And as we come upon our strategic plan, I really plan to listen really carefully to the community, to engage in dialogue with lots of stakeholders. Um, I will want this position, the assistant head of school for academics, to be a thought partner, to be a strategic partner, and to really, really think boldly, to work joyfully, and sort of, come and have collective purpose around our mission. Private school, public purpose, head, heart, hands curriculum, the opportunity to have kids graduate from Lick-Wilmerding with confidence and compassion. These things are compelling for me. And I believe that the work that we should do should not just be limited to the 560 kids that we have here. I would love to see Lick-Wilmerding become a learning center, have a learning institute where we gather people, we have different ideas, private schools, public schools, where we can really elevate and network with each other. I think that's the next evolution of independent schools. And again, I have a great, great team right now of senior administrators. I'm so proud of this group, and I'm really looking forward to adding to that group next year.
And we're looking forward to helping you in that endeavor. It's been so great to work with you so far. And thank you so much for your time here. And we look forward to working with you throughout this search. Appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Gabe.